my short answer to how we can address the lack of representation of non-white people really is to make sure that we're visible and that we have channels through which our voices are heard. I feel like I bang on about this all the time. I'm speaking to you now because that is my main message. But I do really believe that it's not enough to have, one diversity officer to make sure that they have a list of criteria to make sure that we're being diverse. There isn't a checklist where we're like, okay, is there a black person? Okay, have we got an Asian person? Yeah, okay. And make sure everyone else is white because that's what people want. I don't think that's really enough because that just ends up, we just end up with tokenism. And what that actually does is, while it may address the issue in the short term, for example, I'm not sure if its neighbours are home and away, irrelevant, they're basically the same in this context, a very white show having one South Asian family. And they got some praise for that because they're trying to make the show less white. Okay, fine. And recently one of them introduced the first, I don't know why it took so long, Indigenous character. Cool, okay. But the teams, the writing teams, the production teams are still largely white. So the stories that get told will continue to be from that white place. And these short-term solutions aren't really enough. What we need to do is include people of colour behind the scenes and in terms of the final products. We need to be really involved from the project's conception to its implementation to its evaluation, because otherwise what's happening is you have the status quo, being perpetuated by the people who have been making these things since time immemorial, and then deigning to let the occasional minority person participate in the project. Recently there was a controversy surrounding an Australian publication that launched a side project, and the title that they used included a term that was culturally appropriated from African American vernacular English. The issue is that the team behind that publication was almost exclusively white, and there was no attempt at consultation. There was no attempt at kind of really going deeper into why they'd chosen that term, even though I'm fairly certain they were aware that that was the origin of the term, that they were taking it from the vernacular of a certain group. And when they were called out on it, the apology seemed really half-hearted, and in the end they did change the title of the offshoot project, but I think it still highlights that lack of real sensitivity towards the feelings and the opinions and the ongoing oppression of people of colour. So if that organisation just had more people of colour, I would like to think that maybe that issue wouldn't have come up, because someone would have said, hold on guys, wait, I'm familiar with this has happened before, my culture is often bastardized for certain ends that don't actually address any of this oppression. Maybe we should think about why we're doing this, again, back to the question of why, and move forward in a way that is more constructive. Authentic involvement, I think, is the best way forward in this respect. I can only speak for myself and the small portion of the world that I am part of, but I think it would be great if the rest of the world could aspire to actually empower us to make change happen, to create works of our own, to make policies that actually benefit all of us. Because again, the only way to make us not minorities is to make sure that we're not on the peripheries of this society. And by making us integral, pulling us closer to the middle, we can all move forward collectively together. Who is Adolfo Aranjuez? I think I'm just some person trying to do their best in what they do. I am a writer and an editor, and I write about race and mental health and queer issues, things that I'm passionate about, and I publish the work of people who are passionate about those things and other things that they care about. But yeah, just a guy trying to do the best that they can. So I dance hip hop for funsies, and as an offshoot of that, I watch a lot of hip hop videos on YouTube, and there's one in particular. I think they're an LA-based dance troupe, and behind, so if the camera is facing the dancers and there's like mirrors and whatever, behind them, above them, is this slogan, unity in diversity. And I think that's really powerful. I wish I could rephrase it and say diversity is unity, but I think it doesn't work that way. I think it only works the other way around. It's through our differences, by not denying that we have a wealth of cultural backgrounds and languages and assumptions and values, by acknowledging all of those things and not erasing them, by not denying that they exist, by not silencing any of them. That's the only way we can truly kind of create this beautiful fabric of a people that we are. So can I say diversity is unity, but actually mean the other way around?